If you are a new trader and you want to become profitable quickly, one of the best way to do it is to copy somebody's existing method. Shamelessly copy an approach which has worked for somebody for 10 years. Don't try and copy an approach which has worked only for 1 year or 2 years, because that is something which is not necessarily going to be proven. But something which has worked for 10 years, if you copy, you will shorten your learning curve very quickly. Most traders who start out trading, if you know, they spend 5-6 years being unprofitable or stumbling through methods in the first 5-6 years. And this is a waste of time and effort. So if you want to shorten your curve, what you need to do is to quickly find some kind of a method. And there are a lot of methods which are in public domain now, and because of Twitter, because of YouTube, there are a lot of these kind of things which are available to you. Select a method which has worked for 10 years. Now, the advantage of selecting a method which has worked for 10 years is that, or find a trader who's been around for 10 years or more, because then they would have seen different kinds of market conditions. Now, the advantage of doing this as against you trying to find your own methods in the beginning is that that person has a setup. So you're not looking for a new setup. That person would have perfected an entry technique. They would have perfected how to scan for those kind of setups. They would have perfected how to exit that setup. They would have looked at how to manage the position, where to put a stop, what kind of a size to do. These are all things which you will get as a ready-made package when you start taking that approach. And as a result of that, what happens is that you're not going to be spending time trying to come out with your own setup and in the process losing money. Now, in order to do this, what you need to do is to systematically look at various kinds of setups available in the market and what suits your personality, because just because a setup works for me doesn't mean that it is going to work for you, because you might have a personality profile. Some people are born to be day traders, or they are inclined to be a day traders. Within day trading, some people are inclined to be scalpers. Some people are inclined to be long-term investors. Some traders are inclined to be bottom fishers. Some traders by their personality are value investors kind of a profile. Some people, because of their background, have a technology background. So then you can find a trader who's good in technology stocks, or some people have a medical background. Because of that, they can understand biotechnology stocks or medical technology stocks. In that case, they should be focusing on medical technology stocks, or a trader who does very good job of trading biotechnology or medical technology stock. Now, this approach of shamelessly copying an approach is a very common thing which is done in other industries. If you look at other industries, what do the Chinese do? They shamelessly copy a technology from US and bring out products. Or like another company just shamelessly copy products made by some other company. There are so many coffee chains which have copied the approach from Starbucks, or there are chains which have copied the approach from other sandwich chains, or like a McDonald's copycats. There are dime a dozen, or KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken. There are so many copycats of that. So this is a common methodology used in any industry, and that is the same thing you should use in trading. And if you can do this, you will be able to shorten your learning curve to probably 6 months. So when I started trading 24 years ago, in the beginning, first or 1.5 years, I was also struggling as a trader, because I didn't know, I didn't have a setup. And then I found this particular book. And when I read this book, in this particular book, in the appendix section, there was a trading method which was detailed, and it had all the details called how to trade runaway moves, trading runaway moves. And that particular chapter, when I read it and when I read this book, it allowed me to immediately implement a setup which has worked for somebody. And that setup idea, which was basically a setup idea of trading moves of 3 to 5 days and making money from them, because those are the moves which are very common in the market, is what became the foundation of my trading. Subsequently, I innovated around that basic methodology and I created my own setups. But the basic idea which I found 24 years ago remains valid. And this is what is my best advice to new traders, which is that find something which has worked for many years for somebody and copy it. Shamelessly copying is going to make you save you a lot of money, because I know a lot of traders, and by the time they talk to me and I see them, they're like lost 100,000, quarter million, like trying different methods and trying out approaches or doing things which are no chances of working. As against that, if you find something like this right at the beginning, you will find that your effort will be very quickly done. The other tip I will give beginner traders is that try and use the tools which are commonly used by traders. If you are going to be using a tool which is commonly used by traders, there is already ready-made material on that particular tools. Ready-made scans will be available. You're going to save a lot of time. Same way with brokers. Use brokers which are commonly used by active traders. That way you will know you're using the right kind of tools. Same thing with like the kind of news sources or the kind of other information sources which are used by traders. I see a lot of time new traders are carried away by some exotic tools. Now, if you are going to use something exotic, there is not much of a material available or no one else is using it, and then you are at loss. You are trying to learn the tool rather than learn trading. Similarly with brokers, there is a reason why certain brokers are used by traders, and if you try and get onto those brokers very quickly rather than using brokers which are like not really used by traders, you're going to save a lot of time. So the objective for a new trader should be to become as quickly profitable as possible without losing money and without spending too much money on trading courses or paying money to others to become profitable. And in order to do that, my advice would be find something which has worked for 10 years, a setup which has been around for 10 years plus, and then copy shamelessly, use the same tools that others are using, and that way you will save a lot of time, effort, and frustration.